So this worksheet is on the second second sine graph worksheet, chapter 9, homework 7, graphing sine functions, worksheet number 2. So on this, I'm going to just get started, and I wrote the equation here. What I call A is amplitude times sine of B. B is how many cycles within 2 pi distance, times the quantity x minus h plus k. The x minus h shows you your phase shift. The plus k is your vertical shift. And period is 2 pi divided by b. Again, where b is the number of cycles within 2 pi, 2 pi distance. Okay, so let me go through this. My amplitude is 3. Whoops, let me grab my amplitude is 3. My vertical shift is minus 2. The period is 2 pi. That's what it normally is. The phase shift is none because nothing's happening here with that x. Okay, so I am going to be drawing in my x-axis, y-axis. I always need 5 markings. I'm starting at 0. This is 0. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on a second. Let me start again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 0 is my first one. I go from 0 to 2 pi. I need the start and I need the end labeled. I don't need the ones in the middle labeled, but I need the tick marks. And then our vertical shift is -2, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, okay, to -2. And my amplitude is 3. That means I'm going to be going 3 above and below. So I'm going to be going 1, 2, 3 below, so that's -5. And 1, 2, 3 above, so that's going to be 1. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to draw in, here I'll do it in green. I'm going to make it a little more transparent. I like to draw in my vertical shift. Okay, so right here, that's my vertical shift. That's where my 0 should be. Let me draw that a little better. A little fatter. Okay, so that's where my vertical shift is. And then let me do it in maybe yellow. And then I'm going 1, 2, 3 above, 1, 2, 3 below. Okay, and that's where my sine graph is going to be in between. Okay, in between those values. So now when I'm plotting these, I start at 0. Oops, hold on, let me grip my. I start at my 0, and my 0 is on my green line because that's where my graph has been shifted. Starts here at 2 pi, it's at 0. Halfway in between here, it's at 0. Now halfway in between these, I usually go up 1, and halfway between these, I go down 1. But because my amplitude is 3, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. And halfway between these, which is here, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be my sine graph. Okay. So next one. So on the next one, I am going to be having an amplitude of -4. Let's make sure that's focused. But I don't care about the sign, so I really want the absolute value of -4 is 4. Vertical shift is +3. Period. This 2 here is my b, so I take 2 pi divided by my b, and I get pi. That's how long one period is. And my phase shift is none because nothing is happening in parentheses to my x. Okay. So when my period has changed, understand that instead of going from 0 to 2 pi, now I'm going from 0 to pi. Okay, that's what's going to happen in this one. And let me draw in my. Now, again, I need to start up at 3, and then I need to go up 4. So I might drop this one down a little bit. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this, if it'll let me. It's going to move the whole thing. Here, let me just get rid of this. I'm going to shift this down here and make this a little bigger. Okay, so I need to be up at 3 and go 4 above that. Okay, so let's say I do it right here. So I need to go up to 1, 2, 3, and then I need to go up 4 beyond that because of my amplitude. So I'm going to go here. Let me make this right here so I can see a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go up to 7, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to be at -1. So I went 4 above and 4 below. And again, I'm going to draw in my vertical shift. Okay, my vertical shift is 3. So this is where all my zeros are going to be going. My amplitude here is 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 above. This is going to be my high. 1, 2, 3, 4 below. This is going to be my low. Okay. Now, again, I am going to be going from 0 to pi because I have no phase shift and my period is pi. So I'm going to go, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to label this pi. I'm going to write the pi here so I can put a point here in a second. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We always have 5 values that we're plotting. Okay, so now I'm going to have my 0 here at the start, at the end, halfway in between. And then because this is a -4, instead of going up first, I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, up 4. And then I'm going to connect. And there's my sine. And again, it started below, going down this time instead of up because it's a negative amplitude. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3. So on 3, my amplitude is 2. My vertical shift is -4. My period, because of that 3, is going to be 2 pi divided by 3. And I still have no phase shift, so no phase shift, none. Okay. So I am going to be going down to -4 and going 2 above and 2 below. So let me shift it kind of this way. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. And then I need to go 1, 2 more, so -6. And I'm going to go up 2. So I'm basically from -2 to -6. Okay. And again, I'm going to draw in my vertical phase, my vertical shift, which is right here. That's going to be where my zeros will be. And then because of that amplitude of 2, I'm going to be going 2 above and 2 below. So 1, 2 above. So my high will be here. 1, 2 below. My low will be here. Okay. And I'm going from 0 to 2 pi thirds. Okay. So when I do this, here's my 0. And then I'm going to have, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, again, 5 tick marks. And I'm just going to put the 2 pi thirds here so it's not in the way. That's my 2 pi thirds. And now when I'm graphing this, again, my start, oops, I was going to change the color. My start is my 0. My end, 2 pi thirds is my 0. Halfway in between is my 0. Now halfway in between those, because my amplitude is a positive 2, I'm going to go up 1, 1, 2. And because it's this will now be a -2, so I'm going to go down 1, 2. And that's going to be my graph. Okay, so number 4. So on this one, my amplitude is 1. My vertical shift is 1 because of that +1. My period, I take that 2, so it's going to be 2 pi over 2, which is pi. So I'm going to go pi distance, but this time I do have a phase shift. I'm not starting at on my y-axis. I'm starting at whatever makes this 0, which is pi halves. So when I have a phase shift, what I like to do is I like to figure out where I'm going to start and end. So I'm going to start at pi halves. I'm going to add my period onto it, and my period is pi. And then that's going to tell me where I'm going to end. And so when I take pi halves plus pi, I can really think of this as 2 pi halves. Okay, if I'm trying to get it to be halves. So then I know I'm going to be ending at 3 pi halves. So I'm starting at pi halves, ending at 3 pi halves. Okay. So let me draw that. And I'm starting up 1. And then I'm going 1 above that and 1 below that. Okay. And then again, I'm going to start at pi halves. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be where I end, which is 3 pi halves. Now I'm going to draw in my vertical shift. Okay, so my vertical shift, if I move this over, is 1. So I'm going to have a line at 1. And then I'm going to be going, because my amplitude's 1 up and 1 down. Okay, so I'm basically from 0 to 2 is kind of where my sine's going to be going. And then when I plot this, I am going to be starting, my start is pi halves. I'm ending at 3 pi halves. So that's where my zeros are. Let me zoom in. And then halfway in between is going to be another 0. And then in between that, since this was, let me just double check that it was a positive. So that means I am going to be going up 1. And then over here, halfway in between, I'm going to be going down 1. And then I'm going to connect. And that's my graph. Okay, so let's take a look at number 5. So on this one, my amplitude is the absolute value of -3, which is 3. So I'm going to be going 3 up and 3 down. My vertical shift, there is none because there's no plus or minus at the end. My period, I'm going to take this 4, which is my B, and go 2 pi over 4, which is pi halves. And then my phase shift is what makes this 0, which is pi 6. Okay, pi 6. So then again, what I want to do is I like to figure out where I'm starting and ending. Well, I know where I'm starting. My start is my pi 6, which was my phase shift. I'm adding my period, and my period was pi halves. And that's going to give me my ending. Okay, my end. Here, let me move it out a little so I can write end, my end. Now, I want to get a common denominator here, so I can multiply top and bottom of this one by 3. So I really get pi 6 plus 3 pi 6, which is 4 pi 6. Now 4 pi 6 you can reduce. 2 goes into both of them to 2 pi thirds. So I'm starting at pi 6 and I'm ending at 2 pi thirds. Okay. So let me draw my graph in. I need to, I have no vertical shift, so I'm just going to put it here. I am going up 1, 2, 3, and down 1, 2, 3. And then I'm starting at my pi 6, which is my phase shift. Okay, that's where I'm starting. Here, I'm not going to write the pi 6 so big. Hold on, I'm writing it way too big. Pi 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always have 5 marks, start to end. And my end is going to be 2 pi thirds, 2 pi thirds. And for this one, my vertical shift, I did not have a vertical shift, so this is where my zeros are going to be. Actually, where zeros should be on the x-axis. And then I'm going to be going, because of my amplitude being 3 in opposite value, 3 above. And I'm going to be going 3 below. So that's going to be my high and low. So now I'm going to do my my start. So my start and my end. I start at 0, I end at 0, and halfway in between is 0. And then in between these, I would normally do my 1, but because this is negative, I'm going to go down. And because it's a -3, I'm going to go down 3. And then here, I'm going to go up 3. And there's my graph. So my sine, I always start and stop at 0. Halfway in between is 0. And then in between these, I'm either going to be going up 1 or whatever my amplitude is. And this would be the opposite. Okay, now because this was negative, I went down first, then I went up. But if it's positive, okay, I would go up and then down. Okay, so hopefully you found this helpful. I'm going to make one on the cosine.